Hello everyone, welcome to the only YouTube channel on the planet that is not doing a Sword and Shield Let's Play at the moment. Is that a bad idea? Probably for views. Can I help it? No, I don't have a Switch. And in today's episode we're going to make our way to, I think, the next city and potentially the next gym already. Potentially. I looked it up. Usually that gym has 2 Pokemon at level 25, which means he's going to have 6 Pokemon at level 25 with max IVs. So that's going to be not very good for me. Then again, actually, let's take a look at the team. We have Big D, which has evolved, I probably should have gone onto the Pokemon Center, into a Nidoking with a little bit of trouble with Super Training. Now has Rivalry for its ability, meaning that it deals more damage to Pokemon of the same gender. That's going to be very useful, since most gym leaders, usually, at least in a normal game, have Pokemon of the same gender as them, and a lot of the gym leaders are male. So, and obviously Nidoking is male, so that's going to be useful. That being said, it is very much possible that that doesn't go up with the randomization and the genders are randomized as well. But even in that case, it's 50-50, so about half the Pokemon I'll deal more damage to. I also gave him Shadow Claw, which was a TM I found off screen, and Chip Away, which he'll learn through level up. Sarah is a useless piece of crap. And the rest of the team didn't change. So, actually, no, that's not true. Frank did gain a couple of levels, and I think no new moves. But yeah, Sarah is just there until I need to save switch into something. Wait, what? A dowsing machine. Thank you very much. Until I need to save switch in for something and sacrifice Sarah. Because I've been trying to train up Big D and Sarah. Sarah can't take care of herself in a battle at all. Like, not even close. And then you have the fact that she doesn't have proper stats. She's fairly defensive, but that doesn't really help if you're trying to grind up anything or kill anything. And a horrible, horrible move pool. It's a very supportive Pokemon, which I don't really have a use for. Because B is a bit of an issue there, potentially. You are a normal ground type, I believe, so double kick should be... that doesn't do a lot. It's still super effective, but it doesn't do a lot. So as I said, Sword and Shield have been released, and I'm recording this on the day it goes up. Because again, I had a vacation, I'm trying to build up my buffer a little bit again. Please don't kill Big D. I spent a lot of time on that Moonstone. Don't pull a Togekiss on me. Thank you. You would. Freaking would. You freaking would. I'm gonna take the risk. Mud Slap shouldn't do any damage like at all, right? Like, okay, that did 8 damage. That was a lot more super effective. I'm a poison type, of course. Why did I even stay in against a ground type? I was like, I'm a ground type, I can deal with it. No, I'm a poison type. I'm also a ground type, but that doesn't make me resistant to ground. Okay, I'm a poison type. Let's not say in against this point. Psychic types are kind of like difficult to deal with for me at the moment, though. Let's go into Bird type, because Bob is level 26, and I don't want to over level too much. Gerald, Bob, and Frank, the 3 starters on my team. I don't want to use them until the gym battle, if at all possible. Because I need experience for both Big D and Berta. And technically maybe Sarah, but let's be honest, probably not. And if I use the 3 starters, they're going to be fairly over leveled. And they might even actually like evolve before the 3rd gym. And I don't want to have... Actually, after the 3rd gym, I do want to have a Venusaur. Because that gives me a Mega Venusaur. And it's probably going to be the only Mega... Well, no, actually, I do get a free Lucario there as well. And that probably won't be randomized. So I do get a Mega Lucario as well, which is probably better than Mega Venusaur, honestly. But those are going to most likely be the only 2 Megas I get in this game. Because unless I say Dupe's Claws... Fuck it, and I run into another Bulbasaur or Riolu, or anything of the line, anywhere, I don't think you get any other Mega Stones until the post-game anyway. That's the thing with Ordino as well, right? We have an Ordino, and Mega Ordino is a thing, but not in this game, I don't think. I think there was a Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire thing, wasn't it? I'm not entirely sure. It might be, might not be. Let's switch Big D out from the front of our party, and let's lead with Bird. I've shown you what Big D can do. Big D can do a lot more than I showed you. But yeah, I think Mega Ordino was a Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire thing anyway, so it wouldn't be in this game either way. And even if it was, it's definitely a post-game kind of thing, so relatively useless for our purposes, because even if I was going to do some post-game stuff, and this game doesn't really have a post-game, actually yes it does, it has the Looker mission, doesn't it? But even if I were to go do that, Ordino wouldn't survive that long. I would kill it on purpose before that. And not because I hate it, again, just for a safe switching. I'm not going to kill it just to be able to switch it out. I'm not that much of a monster. But I will be looking for an opportunity to get rid of it in a productive fashion, like as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so how do we get to the gym? I think it's on top of the mountain here. Yeah, I think this is it. I get a free HM. I want to do a Sun and Moon playthrough, just because I've only done normal Pokemon Sun on my channel, and I don't even think I completed it as a number of very long live streams when it was initially released. Towards the end of my YouTube career, quote unquote, before I took my break. I don't think I've ever played Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon on screen. I'm fairly certain that is right. I would very much like to do a Randomizer Nuzlocke of that. The only thing that prevents me from doing a Nuzlocke of any kind of that game is Ultra Necrozma, because that's a bitch of a boss fight. But would it be randomized? Oh my god. I just realized. It might be better if that doesn't get randomized, because if I can run into a Pidgey instead of Ultra Necrozma there, that means I can also run into Ultra Necrozma in the first gym. There's no gyms, in the first trial. And would the Totem Pokemon be randomized as well? Probably not, right? How would randomizers even work in Gen 7? Are there even Gen 7 randomizers? There might not be. And if there's not, I guess I'll just use this thing for the playthrough. I don't really want to do that though, because my Pokemon Ultra Moon or Ultra Sun, I don't know. I have one of the, and the other of the complete sentences. Wow. I think I have Sun and Ultra Moon, or I might have Moon and Ultra Sun. But I think I have Sun and Ultra Moon. So I don't really want to like wipe that save file, because it holds my living dex, at least the amount of living dex that I have, which is like generation 1, 2, 3 and most of generation 4. And then I just stopped because the news dropped that, you know what, Sword and Shield, not gonna have a complete national dex. I was like, okay, that project is dead now. Because I was doing that to be able to transfer that to Sword and Shield eventually when I was able to get it. And, well, there's no use in it, really, anymore. I do think, however, that in future games, Pokemon that might not be in Sword and Shield will be included in those games, and Pokemon Home can still hold all the Pokemon. So having a living dex in Pokemon Home wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. I'm just annoyed that... Wasn't Pokemon Bank supposed to be that? Why are we creating a new app for that already? It's only been a couple of years. If we're going to change the app every couple of years, just please don't. Just please don't. That's going to be annoying. I don't think I'm going the right way, am I? I might be, actually. I think I am. Because it doesn't really matter, but you have to migrate. You have to migrate your entire like box, and if that's only like 100 Pokemon, that's fine. But if that's like 500 Pokemon, you have to migrate from one app to the other, maybe even through a game. That just gets tedious real quickly. Also, I'm not facing a Glalie with Burta. I'm very sorry for using Gerald this much. The gym's forcing me. Sending out poison types like Gulpin, I need a Psychic type. Sending out ice types like Glalie, I need a fire type. So, Gerald is probably going to evolve sooner or later if you dare freeze. Can fire type Pokemon actually freeze, by the way? Because they definitely shouldn't be able to, in my opinion. Because the literal... Come on! The literally fire type Pokemon. Most of these Pokemon are like hundreds, if not thousands of degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. That did not do a lot of damage because it's a physical move. Probably shouldn't be using a physical move with something that's a special attacker by nature. I don't know about its nature, but like its base stats. And then also has a lot of EVs in special attack, like a lot. I think it's close to being maxed out, EV wise. So maybe I should go back to the Pokemon Center. Maybe I... Okay, after this battle I probably will have to go back to the Pokemon Center because I'm not taking on the gym leader here with 6 Pokemon. I repeat, 6 Pokemon. What was I gonna say? All at like max IVs with a half that team. I'm not doing that. Also, again, Psychic types, not my favorite at the moment, I'm gonna be honest with you. Which does remind me, I do have a topic to talk about today, because a while ago in the Team Caterpie Discord, not my Discord, Hardy's Discord, my Discord is also very fun, you should totally join, the link down below in the description. We were talking about, I think it was Chansey looking like an avocado. I was like, I don't see it. Like, I don't see it at all. And then they linked me a picture of the Generation 1 sprite of Chansey. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I totally see it if you use that sprite. That does look a little bit like a cut avocado. Altaria, was it? That's not particularly great for me. Maybe Big D? I'm gonna go with Big D. And that made me realize, I think of certain Pokemon, like, when I say, for instance, okay, maybe Nidoking is not the best example because it's on screen right now, but if I say Articuno, what comes to mind? What is the first visualization that comes to mind for you? For me, it is... Well, actually, for me, it's the sprite from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. Because Articuno was a powerhouse in my original save file. But for main series games, it probably is, for me, the Leaf Green and Fire Red sprite. Just because I have the, like, most... Oh, that does nothing! My god, that does nothing. Oh, and you have leftovers. Oh, no, you have leftovers. That's not good. Chip away? Maybe? Oh, you're a bulky Altaria. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Anyway, so... But not every Pokemon... Obviously, there is Pokemon that didn't exist back then. If I think about Dialga. The first sprite that comes to mind is the Pokemon Platinum one, not the Pokemon Diamond one. The same with... No, Palkia actually is the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl one for me. You see my point here. Different Pokemon have different associations. And some Pokemon I think of Generation 4 or Generation 3. But some Pokemon, even some older Pokemon, like for instance, Pikachu is maybe one of them. I think of the more modern 3D models in Pokemon X, Y, Sun and Moon, and I suppose Sword and Shield, even though I haven't played them or watched much of Let's Play content on them. I think of the 3D model. And the same goes for Chansey. If I think about Chansey, I'm thinking about the modern 3D model. I don't think about any particular sprites. And I'm wondering, am I just going crazy or do other people have this too? Do you have Ice Fang yet? Because that would actually be very, very useful right about now. You do! Why am I wasting my goddamn time with Big D? You can just bite this thing to death with your Ice Fang. So that's going to be my common question of the day. Do you think about different Pokemon using sprites from different generations? Do you even visualize Pokemon when talking about them at all? Because I know a lot of people like don't visualize things as they talk about them. I cannot understand how your brain works, honestly. Do you just like think in words? Do you just think sentences? Do you see the words when you think in your mind? Because if I can do that. I can do that. If I'm thinking just literally words, it's like I'm looking at a page in a book, right? I literally see the words I'm thinking about. Is it like that? Or do you literally just see nothing in your mind and just only think the words? Because that's very odd to me. Like, I sometimes wish I could, like... I do have like a black void when I think about nothing, which is very, very difficult actually thinking about nothing. You'd be surprised. But generally when I'm talking about something or thinking about something, I have a mental visualization, and I know a lot of people don't, and it bothers me that I don't know how their like brain and just like your inner dialogue. How does your inner dialogue work? When you think to yourself, how does it? It messes with me. It really messes with me. There's a lot of things that I can, no problem, like, oh, people do that differently from me. Well, I suppose that works. This is one of those things that I literally just cannot imagine how it actually works, how it actually feels to have your brain working like that. I just literally can't. I have no idea what that's like. And it kind of bothers me because I'll never know what it is like, because that's just not how my brain works. And I would very much like to know, even if just for a day, if I had like a wish on a genie or something stupid like that, I would probably want to be one of those like non-visual thinkers for like a day or two. Just so that I can experience how your brain works. For the same reason I wouldn't mind like being a woman for a day. Not for like any perverted reasons, just woman brains, and this might sound sexist, it's not meant to be, it's just chemically things happen differently in there, in certain ways. Not like an entirely different species, we're still all human, but it's just man and woman, chemically, things just happen differently in your brain. Yeah, let's go into Big D. For that reason, I wouldn't mind experiencing that for a day, getting some perspective, right? That's the whole thing. And the same way, I wouldn't mind having a non-visual thought process for a couple of days, just to really experience what it's like. I guess if you want to like experience what it's like to be a woman, you have to do it for a month, because like the cycle of, let's not get too big into that. Oh, Torment, of course, doesn't matter. But for a little bit of perspective, and I think that's a very important thing that a lot of people like often just forget or don't pay attention to, that everybody around you is subtly different from you. And if you get into an argument, it's very important that you realize that they might be arguing something else than you're arguing. This is something I argue quite a lot. Everybody who knows me knows this about me. I argue quite a lot, and the thing I personally run into quite often is a kind of misunderstanding where people get annoyed and keep repeating the same argument over and over and over and over again. And that is because we're not arguing about the same thing. We kind of are, but at the same time, we're not. We're probably, usually when this ends up happening, we're arguing about the same topic, but not the same sub-topic, if that makes any sense, right? So, for instance, what is something that is universally a good example of this? I don't think this will be a very good move, by the way. I just wanted to test how much damage it would do. It's about the same as Quick Attack and Outspeed anyway. That does a lot of damage though. Would Tackle would do less, surely. Tackle does more. Oh, Tackle is a critical hit. So Bubble Beam won't knock me out unless it's a critical hit too. Oh, that's close. I'm going back to the Pokemon Center again after this one, by the way. I can't think of a good example, but usually, people... Oh my god! Okay. Like, argument, anecdote, put on hold for a moment. This is not good. I don't have a ground type move. And it's not weak to Ice Fang because of its goddamn steel type. I mean, I had to. I had to invite Dialga into this episode after talking about him. Okay, so this is the real gym battle. Ice Fang? You don't have Roar of Time or anything like that yet, though, so... Oh my... I froze it! I froze it! I froze it! Don't let it thaw out, please. Okay, so not going into Gerald, obviously, because that would just thaw it out. I can poison it. I can poison it. That's my strategy. I can't poison it, it's frozen! I can leech seed it. Until it falls out, at which point I can poison it. There's no way I'm freezing it again with Ice Fang. There's just no way. That's like a 10% chance. I won't take that. I can put it to sleep though, which is more reliable. It depends on how much damage he does. But once I poison him, it's done. I can't put him to sleep or freeze him anymore at all. How much does Razor Leaf do? Even chip damage is better than nothing. Okay. I mean, chip damage is one thing. Literally 1 HP of damage is an entirely different level of chip damage. I need to poison him. So I need to stay in until he thaws out. At the very least. Then poison him and then I can switch into Ordinate to take a couple of hits because it's useless. And that's a productive way of letting Ordinate die. I really hope this guy doesn't have a potion because that's going to make this battle last forever. Meanwhile, I'll check the text I just got. Because there's nothing... I mean, I probably should be telling my anecdote because Crisis averted, but hey, what are you gonna do? Okay, it was just somebody confirming something. I sent them. It finally thawed out. I don't know if I would say finally. That doesn't do a lot of damage. I think next turn it will be dead because now I'm... Critical hit, that did 2 HP damage, mate. That did 2 entire hit points of damage. I think it'll be dead this turn anyway. Let's use Poison Powder nonetheless because I'm not taking any freaking risks, but I think it'll be dead either way. So about the argument thing, usually I'd be arguing, for instance, about... There's really, like, no good examples I can give here is the issue. But about topic A, but then topic A has a lot of, like, nuance to it, right? For instance, I can actually use an argument we had in the Discord a while ago, which was about like vegetarian and vegan and what is and what isn't considered vegetarian, and then we were like, it's about animal cruelty, and I was like, not necessarily. There's a lot of people that don't want to eat things that were once alive, and then you obviously get into the philosophical discussion of what is alive. and what isn't. There is a lot of vegetarians that do eat like bugs and fish because scientifically it's been shown, and interpret that how you will, that they don't feel pain in much the same way that we, but also cows and pigs do. So it's okay to be cruel to them, apparently. But that still doesn't like make them not alive. And we were having this argument, and I was just saying like, yeah, but there's people that don't want to eat things that were once alive, and even though I don't necessarily agree with that myself, I can see that. And the other people, I don't know exactly who it was and all were, or if it was just one or like two people. I don't recall that kind of detail. I just recall the argument itself. It's been a couple of days, okay? Kept arguing about like pain receptors and that stuff. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. And to be clear, I wasn't very obvious that I wasn't talking about that because I'm not perfect either, okay? I do make mistakes in my arguments, obviously, as everybody does. If you think you argue without making mistakes, you're probably not very good at it, because a huge part of like debate and arguing, fuck you and your dialogue, is being able to recognize your own mistakes and be open for other people's opinions, right? And I think if you can't do that, you probably should just shut up, usually. Or go into politics. That's probably go into politics. So I think that's a decent example of what I meant. Okay, so now we're going to first ground the gym leader about 27 minutes into the video. Should I have kept this for next episode and just end on the Elga? Possibly. Did I? Apparently not. Are you a dragon type already? I think Squirrel is a dragon type already. So let's go into Bob here. As I stated, everybody's level 25. Next gym, I think, is level 27, 28. So you can just go right into that as well. We don't need to do any grinding. Unless something dies here, which is entirely possible. It won't be Bob, because Bob, as previously stated, immortal. Not a mortal being. Bob is... So you're a water type, are you? You evolved from a water poison into a dragon poison? Because I'm fairly certain it's evolution. I don't know what it's called, but I'm fairly certain that is a dragon poison type. Or are you a water dragon? I don't know. If you're a poison type, I don't want to... If you're just a pure water type, Frank is the best option. If you're either water poison or water dragon, Frank is not going to do a lot. I mean, I can leech seed. Not leech seed again. Leech seed is actually... I didn't think leech seed would be this freaking useful. I don't think I've ever used leech seed as much in my entire life than I have in this playthrough so far. Because it just kind of deals with things that I can't deal with. I can put it to sleep. Who's texting me now? Oh, just... It's my family chat, it's my dad's birthday, and it's been, like, hot all day. It's like... How many people need to congratulate him on not dying in the last year? I'm also not a huge, like, fan of birthdays. Transformed into a rock type! You couldn't have done anything better for me. You couldn't have done it better. Why? What move did it use? Why would you transform into a rock type against a Ivysaur? You're dead. That's what you are. You're dead. What? I wasn't looking. What happened there? I approve of it. As a matter of fact, I like it a lot. But what? Aren't gym leaders supposed to have like good AI? Because that's not good AI. That's very stupid. And I love it. Let's just race or leave, I don't care. Because you have a hyper potion, of course you do. You're still a rock type though, so beats me. You're just gonna die a turn later. I'm gonna get back more HP from Leech Seed, so by all means, keep doing that. That's just, it's another turn of Leech Seed for me, as I said. I hope there's not a lot of echoing, by the way, in this longer recording. Theoretically, there shouldn't be. If I sync everything up alright, there shouldn't be any echoing, because I'm now displaying the game audio over my speakers and on my headphones, because my headphones are just dead. I don't know what killed them. From one day to the next, they just stopped working. Okay, Starly, that's actually an easy one to deal with. I say not having anything to deal with it specifically. I mean, I guess Big D, because Big D is just a general good thing. You can quote that. You can quote that. Big D is just generally a good thing. Vlogger Games 2019. I can double kick, which is neutral. Chip away, which will do about the same amount of damage, I suppose. Shadow Claw, no. Peck, hell no. Should actually be the other way around. Peck at least does a little bit of damage. Shadow Claw wouldn't do anything. Or you can whirlwind me out. You can also just... I mean, I didn't want to use Gerald, but if you're forcing my hand, fine. I'll use Gerald. I'll take out the big guns for you. If that's what you really want, you can get it. Are you the big, bulky ice type? I think you are. That is the one that I meant, indeed. There's a lot of, like, Gen 7 Pokemon I don't know very well. There's a few Gen 6 Pokemon I don't know very well, and pretty much all Gen 8 Pokemon I don't know very well. Because, again, it's only been released for 2 days, and I have not kept up with, like, spoilers and leaks. But Gen 8, obviously, please be burned. Please be burned. Oh, sturdy. Please be burned still, though. Oh, that would be great if you got burned. Those wouldn't show up in this game, anyway. I think there is a ROM hack of Pokemon Red and Blue where every Pokemon up to, like, Gen 4 to Arceus is actually in the game. It's a heavily modded Gen 1 ROM, obviously, because the cartridge, the ROM, the coding just literally couldn't hold that many Pokemon in that generation, so at that point it's more of a fan game than a ROM hack, because there's a lot of coding that needed to be done. I mean, we're the same typing. Let's switch out into... Bob is a little bit low on HP. But I think we'll be fine. What water type moves does Bob have? Only Water Gun? I'm gonna guess only Water Gun. Oh, it's so tiny! I did, by the way, learn that the size of the Pokemon, the reason this Filio was so enormous in the... Oh my god, that does nothing. Let's get the heck out of here. Thing is, Gerald doesn't have anything. Big D might be a mistake as well. I don't want to waste a Moonstone. I don't want to have the Moonstone go to waste. Please don't die. Would you have confusion? You wouldn't have psychic yet. But you could have confusion. Shadow Claw super effective. Flame Charge. You don't have a psychic type move. You do, however, have a higher speed stat than me to begin with, so that was kind of you. Oh my god, you have such defenses! This is a long episode, I'm aware. Okay, you use Endure. That's fine, actually, because you're going to be stuck with 1 HP. And now I can use any move to finish you off, including Quick Attack if I need to. I'll survive this attack, I think. Okay. This, in theory, probably is the most difficult Pokemon he has on his team, but there is 2 left, and we already faced a Dialga today, so I don't even know anymore. Please get, like, guaranteed fissure. You didn't get guaranteed fissure. You did get Bob to level 28, though. Shift Ray. That's an interesting situation we find ourselves in now, isn't it? Because Gerald would be kind of decent. Probably better than Burda. Because of level. And also because Wing Attack just isn't a good move. And Amber isn't a good move either. But have you seen Gerald's special attack stat? It's freaking crazy. It's... Wow, I didn't even know it was that high. I was going to say it's in the 70s. No, it's actually almost 90. And it's below level 30. That's crazy. Now, let's go into Burta. Summary. Physical attack. 44. It's a physical move, right? Wing attack. That being said, Wing attack is a little bit more powerful than Amber is. So that should offset that a little bit. I don't know what Shiftry's defenses are like. Special and physical compared. And I don't think Shiftry would actually have a dark type move yet. So it wouldn't be that scary for Gerald to be out. But I'm not taking any risks today, okay? The only thing that is potentially dying here is Ordino. If need be. Why would you use Leaf Tornado against Burta? That implies that you have like no moves at all. That was very, very well done min-max damage for me. I was sure that it was going to take like a quick attack on top of that as well. Amber Bomb. You know what? I'm going to stay in. I wanted to go into Big D because obviously double kick is a thing. But Big D is so weak, he's not going to be able to do anything without... Oh! I think we have found Sarah's use in life. I could go into Gerald. Granted, I could go into Gerald and Gerald would probably be able to take any move and then one-shot Amber Pump. But I'm trying not to use Gerald because do you see its level? If I go into Sarah... Sarah at level 19 has more HP than Burta, Frank, and that's it. I was going to say Bob, but that's not true. But at level 19, Sarah has almost as much HP as Bob and Gerald. Combine that with the fact that Sarah has a defense stats of 44 and special defense of 39. Compare that to... Okay, Frank does have better defenses. Actually, everybody has better defense. But Sarah has good HP. So I'm going to go with the Sarah. It's probably going to be physical attacks only from Amber Palm, I imagine. Because it's going to be a lot of like default more type moves. That's a critical hit. That was a critical hit. From a Pokemon 6 levels higher. Sarah is a wall. It's a useless wall, as most walls are, but it's a wall. Walls are made to defend, not to attack. And I can use a Super Potion on Big D. Also, itchy thing in my eye. I can take another Swift. Even if it's a critical hit, I can... Why did that do the same amount as a critical hit before? It did. That's scary and confusing. That's what that is. Maybe I should have gone into Gerald. Maybe I shouldn't do these fancy strats. Maybe I should have just gone with Gerald. That was a critical hit as well. I'm gonna double kick you into the ground. Ah, you outspeed me. Don't you dare. Okay, that's more like the damage I was imagining it would be. If you get a critical hit, Big D is gone. And you're getting a lot of critical hits, so you probably have like What is the ability? Serene Grace or something? Or I'm just getting incredibly unlucky. If it's not a critical hit, a min-max damage could still take me out. I'm not going to take the risk. The Moonstone was a pain to get. I'm not taking the risk of Big D dying. I was going to say I might actually end up splitting this episode into 2. But I don't think that'll be necessary because we're going to stay under 45 minutes. If it's above 45 minutes, I'm splitting it into 2. But I don't think that'll be necessary. So another double kick will take out the Ember Bomb, and that's going to be the end of the episode very soon. Please, it's been a long episode. I want to record another one. I actually want to make a buffer, not very long videos. And that's that. We completed this gym without any losses. And we got a lot of experience. Sarah, secret power. Is Sarah going to be useful? Is Sarah actually going to become useful? Is Sarah going to be worth actually giving experience this time around when I have to grind 70 base power? Compare that to double slap. Let's. I'm going to give Sarah another chance. Still not going to do a lot of damage probably, but we've just seen that Sarah can take hits for days. So Sarah might have a role within the team. Still, if anything needs to be sacrificed, it's going to be Sarah. I don't want anybody to think that Sarah is going to be like an important part of the team here. It's still just hanging around until she isn't, and I will probably bring. I don't know who I'll bring. Depends on my captures as well, which next episode we'll be able to capture another Pokemon. Or 2. Or 3. I think potentially 3. Which would be good. But that's not going to be happening right now. Right now I'm going to end off this episode. So if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed the video. Which, I know that's a double, but it's been a long episode. I'm not really thinking. Until the next time. Don't forget to leave a like. I already said, just bye. Again, been a long episode. Bye.